our firm does just commercial real estate, which includes multifamily housing, so apartment buildings and things like that. The office I'm located in, like I said, primarily just does actual office and industrial. So we have a lot of, landlords, tenants that we are relying on for our verticals. And then we have investors and obviously, some really good larger companies, sometimes smaller companies.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Hannah Moore, Marketing Coordinator of Newmark Robinson Park. How you doing today, Hannah?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and about Newmark Robinson Park.
Yeah, so I have been working at Newmark Robinson Park since January of 2022, so a little over a year and a half now. Before that, I had actually worked in libraries, healthcare, and then DIY home decor. So I've done a range of things, but at one point I just decided I was ready to try something new, ready to have some healthcare, because surprisingly, the healthcare you get when working in healthcare is not top notch. So I ended up searching for jobs. I had actually applied for Newmark thinking they would never call me because I had no commercial real estate experience. My resume didn't have any specific marketing experience, but they ended up calling me in for an interview the same day I applied. So I came in, we talked, and they really liked that I had a wide range of knowledge. I had done a lot of marketing for these small businesses, and our satellite office here was very small. It's me and 3 brokers. So it worked out really well. They took a chance on me and I ended up here. So it's been a great company to work for. Our corporate headquarters is located in Oklahoma City. And then I work at one of 2 satellite offices in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have our office, which does our industrial and retail, a little bit of retail and office spaces. And then we have a second remote satellite location in Tulsa for our multifamily office. So I don't get to work a lot with them, but I get to work quite a bit with the office spaces here in Tulsa, a little bit of the industrial spaces, see a lot of cool buildings. Tulsa has a huge history of Art Deco architecture. And so it's been really interesting to get to learn more of that and learn how the marketing in this business works, because it's a little bit different than a lot of the other businesses I've done.
I recently spent a couple of days in Tulsa and I was blown away. I did not remember how much deco architecture there was in in Tulsa. It's everywhere.
It's beautiful. Our downtown buildings are absolutely stunning because of that. And it's nice to see when we get newer buildings and they build on that architecture a little bit and bring it in even in the newer builds.
And it's a quieter city, and it's easier to roam about downtown and see those buildings as opposed to a lot of other cities where that's just not that viable. So Tell me a little bit about the origin story of Newmark.
Yeah, so Newmark was started in 1905. We had a bunch of brokers in Oklahoma City who decided they wanted to start their own brokerage firm and really focus on highlighting the talent that they had in their brokers. Most people weren't doing that in Oklahoma City. The brokerage firms were a lot more just about landlords and tenants, which is very important. But we had a lot of very talented brokers who were very smart and really were helping their clients get the best deals on prices, get the best deals on places, get the best locations, tenant, all of that. So they started the firm. It was named something different. It eventually became Levy Grubb Strange Beffert, based on the 4 people that were in charge of the company at that time. And then about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years ago, they switched to Newmark Robinson Park. We were based primarily in Oklahoma or in Oklahoma City for a very long time. And then a couple of years ago, they expanded into Tulsa. It would have been, I guess, about a decade ago now. They expanded into Tulsa, had a very small footprint, but we had such a good hold in Oklahoma City, such a good reputation that Mark Buffett, our CEO, decided he wanted to really connect with Tulsa more and really bring up some of the economic drivers here, a lot of the downtown buildings, because he's done an absolutely fantastic job there. He wanted to do the same thing here. So he ended up bringing in a couple brokers and started getting our name out there here in Tulsa and really just helping us expand.
Well, there seem to be unlimited opportunities for growth in Tulsa at the moment. The city itself seems to have had a lot of foresight in terms of Tulsa remote and bringing people in and talent from all over the place, from various industries, the arts community, the restaurant scene. There seems to be a lot going on in Tulsa at the moment. What verticals are you servicing? Is this mainly commercial real estate?
Yeah, so our firm does just commercial real estate, which includes multifamily housing, so apartment buildings and things like that. The office I'm located in, like I said, primarily just does actual office and industrial. So we have a lot of, landlords, tenants that we are relying on for our verticals. And then we have investors and obviously, some really good larger companies, sometimes smaller companies, but really trying to just bring people into the different areas of Tulsa to make sure we are getting those economic drivers and really retaining a lot of the talent here.
Excellent. And what are the most common problems you're solving for your clients these days?
Yeah, I would say one of the big ones is the hesitation for people to come back to office spaces. A lot of companies want to have those nice offices so that they can have clients come in, they can have that camaraderie with their teams. But especially post-COVID, a lot of people don't want to go back into the office. So that has been a hard obstacle to overcome. But one of the ways we've really been doing that is focusing on the community building that happens in office spaces, and even the way that it helps the businesses around offices. For instance, in downtown Tulsa, we have a lot of small local businesses and restaurants, and having people in the offices down here really helps support those businesses. When COVID was in full swing and no one was down here, a lot of those businesses suffered. A lot of them went out of business. And so when people come back into the office, when companies have office spaces, they're not just having a place to host everyone, they're having a place that really helps the at large thrive. So we're really trying to focus on that. We obviously have buildings outside of downtown Tulsa that we work with too. Warren Place is a really big one in South Tulsa, and it had the biggest historical sale of any building in Oklahoma last year. Our broker, Rick Guile, did that. So we were very proud of him for that. And the small businesses around there have really thrived since we've started really pulling people back into the offices down there. It just really helped put Tulsa on the map to have people coming back, even if they're doing hybrid models, coming back, supporting those businesses and building the community that we want.
Excellent. Excellent. And tell me about Newmark's approach during COVID to sustain itself and grow through such a challenging time.
Yeah. So I actually did not work for them until close to the end. So I got to see more of the recovery phase that we were doing. But I do know that from what I've heard from the other brokers and the other marketing coordinators, especially our team at Oklahoma City, one of the big things they did was try to be extremely flexible with tenants and facilitate between the landlords and the tenants good ways to cut back on rent, make sure that people were able to make savvy financial decisions that still supported as much as they could while people weren't really in the office.
Sure. Well, one of the most important things at the time, we were living in Los Angeles, and not everyone was necessarily aware of what was at their disposal in terms of local, state, and federal assistance when it came to housing and rent relief and things like that. I'm sure that was educating your constituents was an important part of that process.
Yeah, definitely keeping up on sort of the rental rates too was very important. We have a great record with our brokers of making really good connections with people in the industry, and then obviously our local businesses. So they were really good at building those relationships and ensuring that they still had those contacts, so that when things were slower, it wasn't always necessarily so much trying to find the clients out of nowhere. We had people that were looking to relocate to smaller spaces or more wide open spaces, and we were able to help facilitate that and keep our business going.
Excellent. Well, that leads into my next question. What differentiates you from all of your competition? What makes Newmark so special?
Yeah, so Newmark is great because we do have the national reach. We have a parent company, which is Newmark, that is across the globe, really. And then Newmark Robinson Park, our little branch of that, is really special because we have a very good connection with the communities that we are primarily in. Like I said, Mark Beffert in Oklahoma City has done so much for that community. He's involved with numerous charities, United Way, Allied Arts. His big goal is to give back and make sure that there's economic growth and that there is a good standard of living in those communities. And coming to Tulsa, that's what we've really been trying to do, is not just facilitate these real estate deals, but build a community and make sure that we are building something bigger than just real estate. We're getting good businesses, we're getting good people in that are smart, that will help create good economic growth. We do a little bit of work with a co-working space, actually. We haven't done any real estate with them, but we do a lot of happy hours, things like that with them, called 36 Degrees North. They're a nonprofit. They work with Tulsa Remote very closely. So we're really about building those connections and not just facilitating real estate in a hands-off way. We want to be involved. We want to make sure our clients are happy, and we want to make sure that they know that they can trust us and come to us whenever they have problems, even outside of just moving and relocating.
Excellent. Hey, treating people like human beings is a win-win solution, right? It changes. The business tends to take care of itself when people feel respected and taken care of. Okay. Yeah. Put on your marketing coordinator hat. All right. What role has content played in the growth of Newmark Robinson Park?
Yeah, it has been very important. I would say we mostly focus on photos. We have some video tours. We've been putting out more content as far as sort of behind the scenes things, training and sort of ways that we build our staff up into being the best that they can be. But it's been extremely helpful in getting our message out there, getting our name recognition out there, even beyond the people that we already have relationships with. So we do a lot on Instagram and LinkedIn right now. We have a Facebook presence as well. But I would say LinkedIn is probably our big one where we have the most impact because we are making those business connections. We're using beautiful photos of our locations. We have an excellent social media coordinator who just ensures that all of our content that goes up is aesthetically pleasing, well put together, has all of the basics. So it allows us to put something out there that catches people's eye and convinces them to call us so that we can tell them more. We can find out what they really need and find them the right space, even if it's not the one that caught their eye.
Excellent. All right, look a year ahead. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
In a year, I would like for our footprint in Tulsa to have expanded as far as a company. If we could double it, that would be ideal. I think we have some of the best brokers and they have so much potential. So I would love to see them thriving. As far as myself, I would like to be finding some innovative ways to market. We're in an industry where we are very, I wouldn't say necessarily set in our ways, but as far as marketing, we generally have our ways that work and we stick to them. And I think that's wonderful, but we do have a lot of younger generations that are moving up to becoming business owners, to being the ones making these decisions. And they're not always looking in the same ways that the people who have traditionally been there are. So I'd like to find some innovative ways to market to them and sort of revolutionize the way we're doing things in commercial real estate.
Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best in those endeavors. Please tell everyone, what is your URL? Where can they find Newmark Robinson Park? And you've already mentioned them, but please repeat what social media outlets you're using these days.
Yes. So our website is newmarkrp.com. It's a beautiful website. You can find information about all of our brokers between Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and as well as all of the buildings that we work with. And then we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, and we are on Facebook. It's all as Newmark RP.
Excellent. Hannah Moore, marketing coordinator at Newmark Robinson Park. Thank you for spending some time with us here on Business Ninjas today. I wish you and yours and Newmark Robinson Park all the best in the future.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate getting to participate.
My pleasure. Be well.